In this video, I'm gonna show you how to make deli roast beef at home. It's higher quality, it's cheaper, and with a little bit of patience and a little bit of know-how, it's not that hard to do. I'm gonna show you how to make the best roast beef sandwich you've ever had in your life. Let's get started. If there was one food that I could only have for the rest of my life, it would be a sandwich. I love sandwiches. And I especially love roast beef sandwiches. There's an inherent problem with roast beef sandwiches though. You buy roast beef from the deli counter and it is not medium or medium rare. It's well done or medium well, and it's not good quality. Another problem is it's expensive. You can go to a place like Whole Foods and they'll roast their own roast beef, but it's so expensive. We're talking like $19, $20 a pound. So we gotta find the happy medium to get medium rare or medium roast beef, but also at a deal and a low price per pound. So today we're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna show you how you do your own, and that is the secret. That is how you get the perfect doneness and the perfect price. All right, first when talking about making our own roast beef, we gotta go with meat selection first. It all starts with the cut of meat that you choose. Now, for roast beef lunch meat, you want something that's relatively lean. You don't want big chunks of fat through the middle. The round is the best. So anything from the round, top round, inside round, bottom round, all of these are great things for lunch meat because we're gonna cut them so thin. Usually the round is, when it's cooked, it's a little bit chewy and tough. But here's the thing, we're gonna cut it so thin on a meat slicer that that's gonna cut through those muscle fibers and make it tender. We're not gonna overcook it, and then we're also gonna slice it thin. That's how we're gonna get that delicious pull apart lunch meat that is going to make an awesome sandwich. So right now, this is a top round that they had at the grocery store, and we're gonna go ahead and take this top round, we're gonna hit it with some oil, some salt, some pepper, some garlic. You can add herbs if you want to. We're gonna go at such a low temperature that it's not gonna burn the herbs if you wanna add herbs, but I'm just gonna do strict salt, pepper, garlic for this one. We're then gonna pop it in a 325-degree oven, and we're gonna cook it till it's nice and medium. Once it comes out of the oven, we're gonna put it in the refrigerator, let it sit overnight. This is where the patience comes in. It's gonna sit overnight, get nice and cold, and then we're gonna be able to slice it for our sandwiches. It's going to be so good, I cannot wait. Again, patience is a virtue here, people, so it will be worth it, I promise. I wanna take a quick second to thank the sponsor of this video, Meter. What is Meter? It is a wireless thermometer that tells you exactly when your meat is done. No more guessing about, well, how many minutes per pound and is this shape and I don't even know what to do. It's very, very simple with Meter. You put the thermometer in the piece of meat, you go to the app, you say what kind of meat you have, it senses when it will be done. You want medium? Boom, here you go. You want medium rare? Boom, here you go. It tells you how many minutes are left. It tells you everything. So go pick one up, check the link in the description for 10% off. Man, I don't even know why you don't have one already. You have to have one of these if you're gonna do any of these projects. It makes, especially like roast beef like we're doing today, makes it so much easier. This is a no-brainer. Go pick one up, check the link in the description. Let's go ahead and cook some roast beef. Let's go. All right, so here's our finished product. This inside round was about 3 pounds. It took about an hour and a half. Remember, we use our Meter probe thermometer to help us out to pull it at the right time. But again, 325 for about an hour and a half. I then pulled it out of the oven, put it at room temperature for an hour, and then put it in the refrigerator. And we refrigerated it overnight, nice and cold. You don't want to slice these things hot because that meat slicer will shred that meat so quick, it will ruin your whole product. You gotta have patience. We're gonna make sure that it is super cold and ready to slice. So let's get to slicing. I can't wait to see what we got going on under here. All right, so let's talk meat slicers. Now, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with meat slicers in general. The ones like at the deli, they use them professionally, they are huge pieces of equipment. You can barely lift them up to clean underneath. You can't have that at home. You want to be able to have a small enough meat slicer that you can pull it in and out and you feel comfortable doing it, or you're not going to slice your own meat. You're just not going to do it if I have to get this huge machine out every time. The downside of these smaller units is they're not as powerful. So it's gonna take a little longer, you're gonna have to work at it a little bit more, but you're gonna use it more often. So this is a meat slicer that I got off of Amazon. It had the best reviews. I've used it several times. I like it pretty good. Now, I know that's not like a ring endorsement, but for the size that it is, it has a lot of power and it works for cutting lunch meat style meat. I will link this in the description. The one I like from Amazon, go ahead and check it out. All right, so here's our piece of meat. We got our meat slicer ready. We're gonna cut it against the grain. That's what you wanna do. So you see all the grains going this way, we're gonna cut it this way and slice it. So let's go ahead and cut it in half so it's easier to work with on this meat slicer. This is a very nice medium, just about perfect. So we're just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna show you how to use this slicer, slice it up, and we might even make a delicious sandwich with it. Gotta have the first sandwich, right? So let's get to it. All right, so we're gonna grab our piece of roast beef. Has a little guard here. There's a little lever here that will determine the thickness that you want. So again, you can always change it. So I'm gonna try pretty thin. With this roast beef, you want it thin cut because it's a round, it's gonna be a little chewy if you got a thicker cut. So we wanna do as thin as we can. You're gonna flip on the switch and then just nice and easy, you're gonna cut these slices. Be real careful. Again, we have a blade mixed with a motor. So just be careful, but pay attention to what you're doing. And here we go, let's do it. All right, here's what we ended up with. I'm gonna take that other half of the inside round, I'm gonna wrap it up with some saran wrap, put it in the freezer, and then be ready for the next time I'm ready to slice some more roast beef. As you can see, this came out so good. Super thin slice, medium, beautiful medium, seasoned really well. Look how it just pulls apart. That's what you want. In your sandwich, you wanna bite through it and it just pulls apart like that. That's awesome. Here are some of the other meats I found in my local grocery store. Right here we have the boar set, which is your run-of-the-mill, again, at every grocery store, roast beef. But you can tell it's a little bit gray. They can't serve it to you medium. They cannot get that kind of consistency. And it pulls apart just fine, but it tastes okay. But you know, this was $15 a pound. That's a lot for a roast beef. $15 a pound. That's kind of crazy. So again, another place I went to was Whole Foods. Now Whole Foods, I know for a fact, roasts their own meat and slices it for roast beef. This one is a little bit, you can tell it's like a little bit overdone, a little bit on the medium well side. I mean, it's sliced okay, but that's up to whoever's doing the slicing for you. So you gotta kind of keep that in mind. And this is $19.99 per pound. That's a lot, okay? That's a lot for some roast beef. That's gonna make a very expensive sandwich. The one we did here, remember, we got this for $7.99 a pound. That's what we started with. I know you're gonna have a little bit of weight loss from while you cook it, but still, we are way ahead of both of these. We'll just competitors? I don't even know. This is sandwich ready. You're gonna have the best roast beef sandwich of your life. If you like this video, check out when I did this exact same experiment, but with Deli-Style turkey. I will link that video over here. We'll see you on the next one.